Hey everyone, so for today's video we are doing a summer makeup haul. I wish that you guys could feel how heavy this box is. I've purchased a lot and there have just been a lot of releases that have just caught my attention, tickled my fancy, that I wanted to try out for you guys. So for today's video, I'm going to walk you through all of these items. If I've dabbled in the product already, I will give you my first impressions. And if there are specific items that you guys are really interested in, just more in-depth reviews, whatever the product is, whatever the case may be, let me know down below. Let's say like your top 3 products you would like me to revisit for you guys. I also need to give a quick shout out to this video's sponsor, which is HelloFresh. What is HelloFresh, you may ask? Get mouthwatering seasonal recipes and fresh pre-measured ingredients delivered right to your door with HelloFresh, America's #1 meal kit. HelloFresh makes cooking at home fun, easy, and affordable. No meal planning, no grocery stores, just everything you need to make wholesome, nutritious meals all delivered to your door. I like HelloFresh because if I just have no idea what to make, I always feel like their meals are super delicious and creative. A lot of the time they're recipes that I would never have tried before, but they're always so good. If you see the taco recipes on HelloFresh and you skip it, you're making a mistake. HelloFresh cuts out stressful meal planning and prepping so you can just enjoy the cooking, get the dinner on the table in about 30 minutes. I love that I don't have to go to the grocery store, and I also don't have to buy these things that I know I'm never going to use up. They give you just the right amount of every single ingredient, which is awesome, and it also helps prevent food waste. So go to HelloFresh.com and use the code AmandaZ12 to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. That's HelloFresh.com and use the code AmandaZ12 to get 12 free meals, including free shipping. All right, let's get rolling, shall we? So the first thing I wanted to talk about is what is on my eyes today. It's Patrick Ta's new Major Dimension eyeshadow palette. And I really was not planning on picking this up. I saw it online and I thought it looked really, really beautiful. But for me, I don't use powder shadow as much as I use cream shadow. I really use cream shadow on an everyday basis. But then I saw this in person and I was swatching it out in Sephora and I was like, holy crap, these are really, really beautiful. The mattes in here are so pretty. They're very, very pigmented, but I never find that they are difficult to work with, which isn't always the case with a really pigmented matte. And I love these more textured glitters. I have 2 of the glitters on my eyes today, this more peachy shade and just a little bit of this champagne as well. You can get both daytime looks and like a little bit more of a glamorous kind of nighttime look out of this palette. It's just really versatile. And I know a lot of people are like, ugh, another kind of neutral palette. And honestly, sometimes I feel that way when I see new makeup launches, but for some reason with this one, because of the textures and the way they actually translate, I have been really, really liking this. I also picked up one of the Precision gel liners, and this is the shade Deep Bronze. I am gonna say that I would personally skip on the gel liners. They actually do last a really long time and the colors are really nice, but the actual liner within the tube is a little bit shaky, so I find that it's kind of difficult for me to work with it. I'm not sure if that was just an issue with mine, if this one's kind of defective, but I think that there are other ones that are better out there. I prefer the ones from Urban Decay. I've really purchased a ton of cheek products actually. I feel like there are a lot of cream bronzers coming out, a lot of cream blushes. This is one that is actually pretty new and it's from Saie. It's the Sunmelt Natural Cream Bronzer and I have mine in the shade Light Bronze. I've only used it once, so I don't have like a full review, but I can tell you that the formula is pretty similar to the Chanel Soleil Tan de Chanel, except it's a little bit thinner, slightly thinner. I'm excited to see how I like this because I've actually found that this format, I don't get along with the products as much. For example, the Sunkissed Bronzing Cream from NARS has given me a little bit of trouble in the past. I'm kind of interested in doing a video comparing like the one from Saie to the one from NARS and maybe comparing these to the new e.l.f. putty bronzers. Will you guys want to see that video? Let me know. But yeah, I'm hoping that I can find one that really, really works for me. Like I said, I've only applied this once. It looked really pretty, but I just want to give it some more time, do some more testing. All right, another item that I have recently picked up is the Supergoop Shimmershade SPF 30 in the shade Sunset. So I talked about this recently when I did my kind of summery undone smoky look. I'll leave that link down below, but I used this on my eyes and I really love this shadow. I actually swatched a couple of the other shades in Sephora recently and I nearly picked up another one. I think from maybe just the swatches that I saw of this product online, I kind of assumed that this was going to be like really frosty. Colors were kind of uninspiring. Well, I was wrong. Like, these are so beautiful, and I think it's just an added benefit that there is SPF in here. Like, I wouldn't rely on your SPF from this, but I do know that a lot of us kind of neglect the eye area when it comes to SPF, so it's nice to just have a little bit of extra. Again, the shade Sunset is so pretty and very dimensional. I'm honestly really impressed, and I know that not many people really talk about these, but I am going to be that person that talks about these all the time now. Also, Makeup by Mario has made a significant drop of products, and I picked up quite a few of them. Actually, I think I picked up all of them. I have one of the Soft Sculpt bronzers in the shade Light, and I've been getting a lot of use out of this. I think a lot of you probably already know that I'm not a huge fan of powder bronzers. I just find that sometimes they can look really patchy, and there are some formulas that are like too pigmented, difficult to blend out. I really want a beautiful kind of seamless look when I'm dealing with bronzer. Because this formula is so thin and the pigmentation is very buildable, I just find that every time I wear this, my bronzer looks good. Again, make sure to let me know down below like the products or the collections that you guys want me to do more in-depth reviews of, because there's a lot to go through with this collection. I also purchased 2 of the Soft Sculpt shaping sticks. I bought both light and light medium. I have a bit of light medium on my face today. I really like the way that it blends. This huge pimple on my cheek though made it a little bit more difficult than usual. You guys ever have one of those pimples where it's just a tiny little pimple and you're like, oh, I'm gonna get ahead of that. I'm gonna put a little bit of like benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid on it, and then it just erupts into a massive pimple. That's what happened to me. But anyway, I have to tell you that I like the powder bronzer a lot, but I have a feeling that these are going to be like a staple product for this year. The blend on these is so beautiful. The pigmentation is there. They last really well. I can't wait to talk more about these with you guys. I just am such a big fan of this formula. So far, so good with the blush as well. This is the Soft Pop Blush Stick in Earthly Pink. I have it on my cheeks today, and I find that this formula is pretty similar to the bronzer. By the way, you do get like a brush on the other end that you can detach and use to blend out your product. The brush is pretty soft, but it has these little like nipples on it that I don't know if I 100% get. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so far so good with the creams. I also picked up 2 more of the powder products that were released. I have the Soft Glow highlighter in the shade Opal, which I purchased the lightest shade. I don't know, I thought that this might be pretty to put on just like the tippy tops of my cheekbones or just a little bit on my nose. It might be a little bit too icy, but I've only used it once. I also have the Soft Pop powder blush as well in Creamy Peach, and I really am a fan of this formula as well. Like, first impressions on this Soft Sculpt collection are all really good. Something else I randomly saw and figured I would give a go is the Too Faced Hangover RX Pillow Balm Lip Treatment. And the reason I wanted to try this one is that I find that I often neglect my lips when I'm doing my skincare routine at night. I have a bunch of potted lip balms that I really like and I find do a great job at actually hydrating my lips. But sometimes you're just really tired and you don't want to stick your finger in a lip balm. Believe me, I'm embarrassed even saying that, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, it's just too much, like my lips are fine. I wanted to find a really thick like nourishing lip balm that I could apply without my fingers. So I could also like throw it in my purse as well, especially, you know, with ACs running all of the time. I just feel like my lips are drying out a little bit. They have a bunch of different like scents and flavors. There's a mango that smelled really good, and the watermelon smells really good too. There's a chocolate, and there's also like an unscented one as well, which I think a lot of us are appreciating more, just like unscented lip products in general. However, I got mine in the scent Banana Kiss, and let me tell you, I love the smell of like sweet banana in any of like my lip products. It just reminds me of summer. It puts me in a good mood. The texture was really familiar, and I've realized that it kind of reminds me of the Laneige lip sleeping mask. It has that really thick kind of texture that stays on your lips and really locks in that moisture. So if you're a fan of that, but you just want something a little bit quicker to apply, I think that this is a really, really good option. I almost wish I got the mango one as well, because that one smells really, really fruity and juicy. I also picked up this new Rowan quad. I've been getting a few comments saying, you know, what do you think about the new Rowan palette? And let me tell you, all first impressions on this are like, yes, yes, yes. Again, this is just a first impressions, but I just love the colors. I think they look so beautiful together, and the textures on here are also different than some of the other palettes. Like some of the other palettes really focus on really flaky glitters that look gorgeous and foiled, but sometimes maybe aren't good for every day depending on who you are. This to me is such a perfect everyday palette. They look so creamy and glossy on the eyes. I just cannot wait to keep using this. When I want like quick, sophisticated, beautiful looks really easily, I always go for these Rowan quads. Another purchase that I bought recently was this bad boy. Holy cow. This is the Divine Rose 3 palette from Pat McGrath. And holy crap, when I used this on my eyes when I visited Khaki, I immediately fell in love, because these shadows, the epitome of incredible luxury. They look so beautifully creamy on the lids. They blend so effortlessly, and the shades are so unique. I really, really cannot wait to share some looks with you guys using this palette. I was honestly floored the first time that I used it with her, and I couldn't stop staring at the textures. This is not a kind of product that I would ever think I would spend my money on, by the way. I'm not a person that drops $100 on every like Natasha Denona palette that comes out. Those like big luxury palettes I usually don't purchase, but since trying this, I'm just like, holy crap, is this what I've been missing? Seriously, cannot wait to keep using this. I also picked up one of the SkinFetish Divine blushes, and this is the shade Fleurtatious. This powder blush is gorgeous. If you like the original Chanel blush formula, I feel like this is very, very similar. I think it's something about the colors. The colors just look so creamy and dimensional once they're actually put on the cheeks. I often think that luxury makeup is different because of the color choices, and they're really, really well thought out. I think that that is absolutely the case with these Pat McGrath items, but also just the quality is there. The quality feels luxurious. I also picked up a few products from an indie brand called Phytosurgence, and I've been trying out these cream textures, and I have to say they're just really, really pretty. I have a couple of the Flash Fluorescence cream eyeshadows. I have Wild Oak and Potent Petal, and these are really, really nice if you deal with a lot of creasing on your eyes. If you want something that's going to last a little bit longer but still give you a really pretty sheen, I think these textures are really pretty and unique because they give you beautiful light and reflection while also being incredibly thin. The amount of that creamy look that you can get from such a thin texture, like that to me is pretty rare and very unique. I've also found that that's the same thing with their highlights, called the Spectral Shine Highlights, and I have two different shades. I have Mirrored Moonlight and Fresh Fog. I'm wearing Mirrored Moonlight on my cheeks a little bit today. These are really pretty if you have more textured skin, because I feel like they're not going to highlight any texture that you have going on your cheeks. There's no visible shimmer whatsoever, but again, the texture is so thin. But especially in the summer, if you want makeup that's going to last a little bit longer, finding these really unique kind of thinner textures are the way to go. These are really pretty. They give you just a soft kind of photoshopped highlighted effect. And I also have two of the Skin Sparks. So I have the shade Inferno, which is my favorite. This is such a gorgeous kind of sunburnt shade, and the shade Simmer as well. These are incredibly pigmented. I will say that you don't need much. And if you think you're picking up a little bit, like take half of that. You really don't need a lot of product with these at all. But I find that the formula is really beautiful because it has kind of a whipped texture to it, but it's not super slippy at all. The way it looks reminds me quite a bit of my Honest Beauty blushes. Those are one of my favorite cream formulas out there, so that's really saying a lot. Let's see, I also have two new products from Huda Beauty, and I've been kind of demoing these for you guys a little bit here and there, but they are from the Glowish collection. I have the Multi-Dew Skin Tint in the shade Fair Light, as well as the Soft Radiance Bronzing Powder in the shade Light. This bronzer is really, really natural and pretty. If you have very fair skin, I feel like this tone would work really well for you. It also has just a nice kind of soft radiance. I feel like this is similar to the ambient bronzing powders from Hourglass. So if you liked that formula, you'll probably like this one. I actually have been finding that I prefer this to that one. Beautiful glow, no patchiness. So really, really liking this. And I would say I'm maybe even more impressed by this Multi-Dew Skin Tint. I talked about this in a recent video, but I really wasn't sure what to expect from this. And I have actually been so impressed. It gives you about a medium coverage. You can definitely sheer it out a little bit as well. And for me, it's nice if I just want that all over glow. If I want the look of like a glow lotion kind of product, this gives your skin a beautiful sheen. And you know what? This color is not great for my natural skin tone, but if I add a little bit of bronzer to my neck, or I know if I'm using like self-tan, this tone is going to be so flattering. This skin tint reminds me of something that like Namvo on Instagram would love. Like it's really the epitome of that like all over glow kind of look. You also get 1.35 fluid ounces, so you actually get a little bit more than a lot of skin tints. That's something I just noticed, so I figured I'd throw it out there. I've also been trying out, and I'm wearing on my skin today, this new foundation from Givenchy. It's the Prism Libre. Oh my god, I know that that is definitely not the way to say it. It's the Skin Caring Glow Foundation. I feel like this is a really good buy for the summer in specific because it's very, very thin. So there are some more thin foundations that I am not a fan of that kind of like either suck the moisture out of my skin or they look more textured. I feel like this is a really, really nice one because it doesn't do all of that, but it also adheres very well to the skin to kind of like set itself. So that's really important in the summer. You know, you want your makeup to last a lot longer. And I feel like this foundation definitely does that. It's kind of like a light to medium coverage foundation. I do wish I got another shade though, because I feel like this shade is just a little bit too light for me. A product that I've seen all over TikTok are these Buxom glosses. It's the Plump Shot Collagen Infused Lip Serum. It's basically like a plumping lip serum item. I feel like plumping glosses are making a comeback. Do you guys want me to do kind of like a roundup video? Because I'm down to do that. But I really liked this one because again, it felt more like a lip serum rather than just a plumping gloss. But if you're looking for a thinner texture that also can plump up the lips, this one will probably be up your alley. I also randomly picked this up because I really feel like in the summer I like to use essences and toners. I love those skincare items to use in like thin layers multiple times. If any of you guys ever do the 7 skin method, hydrated. I kind of like to do that in the summer. And this Moisture Surge Hydrating Lotion from Clinique. I felt like this would be really, really helpful. This is just a humectant cocktail, more of like a lightweight hydration kind of texture that you can add and layer on as you need it. So far, so good with this. I love how milky it is as well. I also picked up the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in the shade Tiara, and I used this recently. I've been using it on my reels as well on Instagram, and I really, really enjoy this one, especially if you're someone that just loves that glossy kind of creamy glow. This looks really creamy on the skin, but it's still quite thin, and it also sets down. So if you're looking for more of a long wear highlight item, this one is really long wearing and beautiful. And lastly, I also picked up this Puff Paint Liquid Blush from Natasha Denona. I have it in the shade Tan, and this is a liquid serum blush, but it actually has a little bit of a fluffiness to it, so it makes it really nice and easy to apply. I feel like a blush like this is just really easy because, again, you have the doe foot applicator. You can just swipe it on the cheeks and even just use your fingers to blend out. I feel like my jam in the summer is like quick, easy makeup, and this definitely fits the bill. So again, leave me a few of the items that you would like to see featured on my channel. If you enjoyed this video, definitely make sure to give it a thumbs up, and I would love to have you back, so make sure to subscribe as well, and I will see you in my next one.